Let's talk some boxing. Daniel Dubois is currently in Russia sparring with Alexander Povetkin, helping Povetkin prepare for his fight against Anthony Joshua on September 22nd. I think this is a great move for Daniel Dubois. This is great sparring for him, great experience. Not only the fact that he's sparring a top heavyweight in Povetkin, but also the fact that he's going over to Povetkin's backyard, his own country, to do the sparring. That kind of experience is invaluable. So, great move for Daniel Dubois. I've seen some people say that this is kind of disloyal by Daniel Dubois to be helping the foreign fighter against the British fighter. Some people saying fish eyes must be behind this. He must be doing anything possible to try and derail Anthony Joshua because he just can't stand the fact that Eddie Hearn is doing better than he is and Joshua didn't sign with him and all this kind of stuff. This is what people are saying. I've seen some people say this. You know, my concern when it comes to boxing is not with patriotism, is not with loyalty of promoters or fighters to specific promoters or fighters to specific countries. That's not my major concern. My major concern is that the fighters themselves, regardless of what country they're from, are able to make the most out of their talent. Because as I always say, in boxing, there is a very small opportunity. There's a very small window for success in boxing. And with most athletes, you've got a very short time frame within which you can earn life-changing sums of money. So with boxers, I don't think there's any time for loyalty, to be honest with you. There's no time for it. They've got to get a move on and make sure that within their prime years, particularly, they are making life-changing sums of money. And so they have to maneuver themselves into that position by whatever means necessary. So if it means sparring a guy who is going to be going up against the top British heavyweight, so be it. It's about Daniel Dubois' journey. It's not about Anthony Joshua's journey. Let's just put it this way. Daniel Dubois should not turn down great sparring and great experience just because of Anthony Joshua. Why should Dubois miss out on that kind of opportunity to develop his career because of some misplaced sense of patriotism or loyalty? It's nonsense. So, no, I don't go along with that at all. I think it's great sparring for Daniel Dubois, and it will certainly help him. So, yeah, just giving you guys a heads up on what's going on. Daniel Dubois over in Russia, sparring Alexander Povetkin. And as far as Povetkin goes, I guess it's pretty good sparring for him too. They're looking for somebody with a similar style to Joshua and similar dimensions. Daniel Dubois is a bit shorter than Joshua, but I guess the style is a little similar. You know, it's not too similar. I think Dubois is, how can I describe him? His style compared to Joshua's. Dubois is more of a straight puncher. That's what I'll say. He's more of a straight puncher. He's not as much of a hooker as Anthony Joshua. He doesn't throw as many uppercuts as Joshua. I don't think he's quite as comfortable, let me not say he's not quite as comfortable, but he's certainly not quite as neat and tidy up close on the inside as Anthony Joshua is. Even a young Joshua, before winning the title, he would often exchange up close with fighters when he had them hurt, usually. He'd go into the pocket and start exchanging up close. Daniel Dubois, I have seen him exchange up close, but as I say, he's just not as neat and tidy as Joshua. But at long range, that's where Daniel Dubois does his best work. With his jab, he's got a very, very heavy, solid jab, and his 1-2's good as well. He's got a good judgment of distance and range, and he's patient. We saw that in the Tom Little fight. I was impressed by Dubois in the Little fight. That, to me, was his best performance. Not him going in there and smashing up DL Jones or who's the other guy now, the Welsh guy whose name has escaped me. He fought loads of different fighters. He fought Joshua too. What's the guy called? My memory as an old man is just failing me again and again. You know the guy I'm talking about anyway. The Welsh guy who fought Joshua, fought Dubois, fought Ian Lewison, fought... Did he fight Huey Fury as well? I think he might have done. Fought Tom Little. His name has just gone. It's escaped me. Anyway. Yeah, so rather than Dubois going in there and smashing people like that to pieces, his fight against Little, I think he showed more poise. You know, he showed patience and he broke his opponent down gradually. That to me was impressive. And what was most impressive is that he didn't allow Tom Little to really get into his head to the point that it would affect his performance in any negative way. Because Tom Little was trying his best and he did bite. And Daniel Dubois admits that he did take the bait at the press conference a little bit. And, you know, he maybe got reeled in by Tom Little a little bit, but not to the point that it negatively affected his performance. And that's important. So that to me was a test passed, not a physical test, a psychological test. Yeah. So I know a little more about Daniel Dubois after that fight. And I was impressed, as I say. Yeah. So Dubois sparring Povetkin, great work for him. Great work. Let me know what you feel in the comments section below. It's happening. I'm out.